So Disney used to be an entertainment company. Now it's the entertainment arm of the Chinese government. It appears that way. They used to be a company that represented what Americans liked. We have some exclusive reporting from inside Disney that tells you everything about what they think of America. That's straight ahead. Well, for generations, the Walt Disney Company was the most famous entertainment company in America. In fact, it represented America to the world. It was in some sense synonymous with American culture. Disney, of course, produced all kinds of films during the Second World War, encouraging the United States to defeat fascism. So when you hear Disney, you think of something that's very American, very wholesome, something that your kids would watch. It's changed. Disney has started producing propaganda films not for the US government, but for the Chinese Communist Party. Not surprisingly, its senior leadership has denounced its own historic cartoons as racist.
One of the things that we actually did during the course of that work was to conduct focus groups with our Black colleagues. And we got some really tough but incredibly valuable feedback, including the following statement, which I will never forget when I read it and the research results. I'm not comfortable with Disney commercializing racist content. So what this remark is referencing is the fact that there are titles in our library that include, frankly, raceless characterizations. And we're not talking exclusively about obscure titles. There are titles that include that, like Fantasia or Dumbo and Aladdin.
It's almost worth saving that tape. So here you have someone who's clearly not very smart, rolling her eyes, and because she does some kind of in-house focus group with like 11 people, your kids don't get to watch the movies that you grew up watching because some unhappy person whose name we'll never know decided they were racist. That was Jenny Cohen, by the way, on the screen. She's the executive vice president at Disney for something called corporate social responsibility. Now we're learning that that's just the tip of the iceberg. Disney is training its employees that the United States, the country that produced Disney, is in fact evil. Chris Rufo is a journalist who's obtained a trove of internal documents from Disney. They're all part of a program the company calls Reimagine Tomorrow. In one part of the training, which is called Allyship for Race Consciousness, can you even imagine? Disney claims that, quote, the United States has a long history of systemic racism and transphobia. By the way, transphobia is a word that didn't exist like 20 minutes ago. What do you mean a long history of it? No one had even heard of that until some unhappy sociology major from Wesleyan made it up and imposed it on the rest of us. But the training, totally ahistorical training, goes on to tell white employees to, quote, work through feelings of guilt, shame, and defensiveness to understand what is beneath them and what needs to be healed. Right, targeting employees on their race. Disney specifically tells employees to, quote, challenge colorblind ideologies and rhetoric, such as, and we're quoting, all lives matter. So you can't say all lives matter, so which lives matter? Why don't you tell us, Disney? In a separate training, Disney demands its employees reject the concept of, quote, equality. So crazy, hard to believe it's real. It is real, though. Chris Rufo broke this story. He joins us tonight to confirm that. So you can't say all lives matter. I'm sorry to get caught up on this one turn of phrase, but it's just so revealing. Is there any indication of which lives matter and which lives don't matter, according to the Walt Disney Company?
Yeah, there is. And what Disney is saying is that we should reject the idea of equality, that people should be treated equally regardless of their skin color. And they say we need to pursue a strategy and a policy of equity where people achieve, quote, equal outcomes. And this is, again, the tip of the iceberg. Disney created and sponsored a 21-day racial equity challenge and told employees to complete a white privilege checklist and even passed around a worksheet saying that white employees should defund the police, participate in reparations, and even decolonize their bookshelves, whatever that means.
So Disney is encouraging book burning, telling us that equality is wrong, that we're not all equal, and that some of our lives matter more than other lives. That is so dark. I wonder where they think that's going exactly. All lives don't matter? We're not equal? Like, what's the end point for this? Any indication?
Well, I mean, the great irony of this is that the people who are in charge of Disney are some of the richest and most powerful and privileged white males in the history of humanity. and they're pushing this divisive, critical race theory-based ideology as corporate dogma. And the only end of this is division, it's self-hatred, and I think it should be very clear that Disney makes its money on middle Americans who go to their theme parks, who buy their content, and those people should know that this corporation hates you, it hates your culture, and it hates the color of your skin. And I think Americans should reject this kind of politics and reject the companies that are pushing it.
Well, I couldn't agree with that more. And just to be, I just want to nail this down completely. You are certain that these documents are real?
Yeah, that's correct. I've confirmed them with multiple sources around the company, done screen sharing, done internal verification. These are genuine documents and videos. The video doesn't lie. And this is the new ideology of the Walt Disney Corporation. And it's really sad because it used to be a great American company. Now it's telling us that America is a fundamentally racist country founded on discrimination. They couldn't be more wrong. I hope they right the ship, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah, and they're lying too, because we are all equal, actually. We're all created by God, we're all equal, and all lives do matter. That's just true. Chris Rufo, I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.